Whoa, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you.
Hello everyone, my name is Michaela Scull. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about our homeschool lesson planning routine. We do the same thing basically every single day in regards to how we do our work, and we always started off with some Pandora. Now, I always start off Christopher, who is in first grade, off with writing his name. He does the same name page every single day that I customized online through Teachers Pay Teachers. And then we always go over the date on the calendar. He hasn't filled in this calendar yet. Typically, we'll do it towards the beginning of the month. And then we also discuss any holidays that are that month as well. Now, we also have a page at the beginning of every packet of the week that has the spelling words and vocabulary words. So I review those every single day with him first thing before we start any of our other work. And then we also review his sight words from that week as well as the week before. Today we're doing friend, full, hold, and good. And then last week we also did no, they, does, and all. Now he is really smart with that kind of stuff, so we did already do those sight words, but he is just reviewing them. And then we also start with some flashcards of some addition problems. Now, he does know how to add very easily, but we're trying to get him to be able to memorize without having to add them every single time. And then we also are starting our fractions. So he looks at these every single day and just goes over how to properly say what the fraction is, and we go over the understanding of it. This week we've been working on forms of energy, and we also went over transparent, translucent, and opaque, as well as sound, kinetic, heat, and light energies. The beginning of his packet just kind of reviews what we're going to be doing for that day. Today we're working on the long O sound, and we're also going to be working on our vocabulary and our sight words. The sight word today was hold. So he went ahead and did this page today, as well as us working on our alphabetical order. And then our next page that we did after alphabetical order was working on the word delighted, which was feeling great and joy. We also worked on our long O sound. Typically we always have 1 to 2 cut and paste pages. And then we also did a timed math sheet. I wanted him to do this under 2 minutes for his first try, and then eventually we'll get to under 1 minute. We're also working on sentences with word problems with addition right now, so he went ahead and did that. We've also been working on magnetic poles and polar opposites and things that are the same or different and how they repel and attract. And then he always has some sort of a fun maze inside of it as well that he does. Now, after the packet that he does, we also start our online school. Now, we use Accelus for our online school. It has all of our classes that he does on the front page. He does his Spanish, language arts, math, science, social studies, foundations in music, and math practice. I always go to the special lessons practice area. And in this section, it tells us any of the goals that have already been met for that day, and then any of them that still need to be completed. Typically, if there are one of the goals that have been met, but it's in a lower percentage class of progress, like his language arts, he's only completed 22% of the class. So we'll still be doing the language arts today just to make sure that we get ahead and on schedule. And then he goes in and he clicks on whatever he wants to do first that he hasn't met the goal yet for that day. Now, he does do a good amount of online school during the day. I kind of like to split it 50-50 in between the online and his written practice as well. I also like that there's a library on Acellus, so he's able to do his reading after his class. I have him read for about half hour every day, but he also has the books that are on his tablet as well. And he likes to listen to a lot of audiobooks, or he'll read books. He's really fascinated with like realistic things. So like he'll look at geography books or books about reptiles or anything else, and he just will read like half the day away. He is a very good reader. Now it also tells us the progress for each class, so I know how close he is to completing the lesson for that day, and it just makes it a lot easier to keep track of everything using the app like this. Now Esme, she is barely starting preschool. She's only 4 years old. She just turned 4 years old in July. So I always have her practice writing her name at the beginning of the day. And then we also use this packet as well that we got from the Relaxed Homeschool. And both of their curriculums are from the Relaxed Homeschool. Today we're working on the letter I, and then it also focuses on a color. We work on the sound of the letter, which helps phonetic reading. So I teach her that the letter I says eh, and then we also work on our writing of the letter I. We work on capital and lowercase letters, and she does really well with her school actually. She like begs to do school first thing in the morning. There's also a maze that was included in this one, which she did perfectly fine by herself. And then she also color coordinated these ice cream scoops and cone and colored these in inside the lines. She actually did a really great job for this. Now, with the circling practice that she does, I always make sure to teach her to start circling from the top and around like a C, because it really helps with writing. So she does a lot of circling items like that she works on. And then we also started differentiating from like biggest and smallest, tallest and shortest. And we're also working on our ordinal numbers, as well as identifying the numbers just by looking at the amount of dots. So typically I'll like cover up some of the other numbers and make it so that she could memorize what the number is without having to count them. It just helps her get up to speed with where I would like her to be by the time she starts kindergarten. And then she knows all of her shapes, but it's always great practice to circle and find shapes inside of a group because it helps her brain work harder as well. And then at the end of her packet, she also has a list of sight words. Now, all of these things I saved from when Christopher was in transitional kindergarten. And it's just a list of sight words that I have her read several times so that she memorizes them. First, I read them to her, and then she reads them by herself. And then we also do this page that's on the back every single day, where it's just in different fonts and sizes of the letters of the alphabet to help her recognize them in the real world. And we like to see how many she can read in about a minute. Now, this does have Christopher's name in it from transitional kindergarten, so it's a little sloppy, but this was the book that he used for the letter I when he was in school. So I decided to get out these two books for her to do since she was working on the letter I to read. And then I typically also get out 3 other books that don't have to do anything to do with the letter of the day itself. So typically we'll have like a really easy one and then 2 that increase in hardness. This one was like a medium hardness for her. I read this one to her, but she does recognize some of the sight words like it, is, in, and a. And then this was an easier one for her to do. She's able to read that one typically by herself once we do it a few times. And then this one was one that I read to her, but she was also able to read like the word like I and like. Now, Christopher and Esme typically just kind of sit wherever they want to do their school. I sit right next to Esme when she's doing her school. Christopher decided today to just kind of sit on the floor by us while I was helping her. And sometimes he uses the desk that we have inside of our house, or sometimes he'll just sit on the couch and have this book on top of his lap and do his work. I just want him to be where he's most comfortable. Again, we just have music playing in the background when we're doing this kind of stuff, and we don't have any TV on or anything else that's distracting. My youngest will typically be nursing or sleeping during the homeschooling period, and then my second youngest, who just turned 2, will just be playing with himself, usually just some quiet playtime with like blocks, or sometimes he'll play with his sister's Barbies as well. We always end up finishing right before lunch, and so we normally just stay at the table afterwards and do some Play-Doh. We do the Play-Doh like every single day just because they absolutely love it, and then sometimes we'll stay there to do some other project or some painting as well. And then afterwards we always go outside to get out our energy. We either play in the dirt on the side of the house and do some digging, play in the mud, and we also ride our bikes around our little complex area that we're in as well. But anyways, you guys, that's everything that we do for our homeschooling curriculum for a preschooler as well as a first grader. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.
Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories.